Wales. A land of dramatic landscapes and ancient traditions, carries a history as complex and resilient as the mountains that shape its terrain. Situated on the western edge of Britain, it's a story spanning thousands of years, from the prehistoric tribes of the Iron Age to its eventual integration into the Kingdom of England. This journey encompasses the Celtic and Roman eras, the rise and fall of medieval Welsh kingdoms, and the transformative forces that forged modern Wales. Before Roman influence, Wales was home to Celtic tribes, each fiercely independent and rooted in Iron Age traditions. These tribes, like the Ordovices in the north and Silures in the south, lived in hill forts, fortified settlements that were both defensive and symbolic of their power. Society revolved around farming, with a strong warrior culture and elaborate rituals tied to their druidic religion. In 43 AD, the Romans began their conquest of Britain. Wales, however, proved particularly difficult to subdue. The Silures waged a brutal guerrilla campaign under leaders like Caractacus, whose defiance became legendary. Despite their resistance, by 78 AD, the Romans, under Governor Agricola, had finally subdued the region. The conquest was marked by the bloody destruction of the Druids on Anglesey, an event that symbolised the end of Celtic resistance. Once pacified, the Romans integrated Wales into their empire, building towns like Caerwent and fortresses such as Caerleon. These sites served as administrative and military hubs, while Roman roads connected even the most remote areas. Latin became the language of administration, and Roman villas showcased the wealth of the elite. Christianity also spread, with early churches appearing in the 4th century. However, by the early 5th century, the Roman Empire was crumbling under external invasions and internal strife. Roman troops withdrew from Britain, leaving Wales vulnerable and politically fragmented. After the Roman withdrawal, Wales entered a period of political division. The power vacuum led to the emergence of multiple small kingdoms, each vying for dominance. Among the most prominent were Gwynedd in the northwest, Powys in the east, and Dyfed in the southwest. These kingdoms often aligned with their respective regional identities, shaped by geography and tribal loyalties. This era also saw the rise of Christianity, which played a crucial role in shaping Welsh identity. Missionaries like St David, St Illtyd, and St Taylor established monastic communities that preserved learning and culture. These centres not only spread Christianity, but also became hubs for art and scholarship, ensuring that Welsh traditions survived in a rapidly changing world. However, the expanding Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of Mercia and Wessex posed a significant threat. The battle lines between Anglo-Saxon England and Welsh kingdoms were often fluid, with periods of uneasy peace punctuated by invasions and resistance. By the 7th century, the Welsh were pushed further west, but they continued to preserve their language, customs, and independence in the mountainous heartlands. The Viking Age brought new dangers to Wales. From the late 8th century onward, Norse raiders targeted coastal settlements and monasteries. which were rich in gold and religious treasures. The Irish Sea became a corridor of Viking activity, with raids striking places like Anglesey and Dyfed. Despite the devastation, the Vikings never fully settled in Wales as they did in parts of England. The rugged terrain and fragmented political landscape made large-scale conquest difficult. Some Welsh rulers even formed alliances with the Norse to resist their Anglo-Saxon neighbours, showcasing the complex dynamics of the period. Following the Norman conquest of England in 1066, Wales faced a new wave of invasion. By the late 11th century, Norman lords established marcher lordships along the Welsh-English border. The Normans, seeking to expand their influence, launched incursions into Welsh territory. By the late 11th century, Norman lords established marcher lordships, carving out strongholds to consolidate their control. These marcher lords built imposing castles like Chepstow, Cardiff, Pembroke, and Montgomery. However, the Normans did not gain control of all of Wales. The rugged terrain and the resilience of Welsh leaders ensured that much of the land, particularly in the mountainous heartlands, remained independent. Figures like Gruffydd ap Cynan of Gwynedd and Rhys ap Tudor of Deheubarth emerged as formidable opponents. This period of conflict was a defining moment for Wales. While Norman castles dotted the landscape and some regions fell under foreign influence, the Welsh kingdoms endured, preserving their unique culture, language, and identity amongst the growing pressures from the east. In the late 12th and 13th centuries, Gwynedd emerged as the dominant power in Wales. Under Llywelyn the Great, the kingdom expanded its influence and secured recognition from England. With Llywelyn styled as the Prince of Wales, his reign represented a high point in Welsh unity and autonomy. However, tensions with England grew under Llywelyn's grandson, Llywelyn ap Gruffydd, known as Llywelyn the Last, or Llywelyn ein Llyw Olaf. Edward I launched a series of brutal campaigns, culminating in Llywelyn's death in 1282. Edward's victory marked the end of independent Welsh rule, and he solidified his conquest with the construction of iron ring castles, including Caernarfon and Harlech, which still dominate the landscape today. In 1301, Edward's son was declared the first English Prince of Wales, a symbolic gesture that underscored England's dominance over the Welsh and still exists to this day. Despite Edward I's conquest, the Welsh spirit of resistance endured. In the early 15th century, Owain Glyndŵr led the most significant rebellion against English rule. Glyndŵr, a charismatic leader and claimant to the title of Prince of Wales, sought to establish an independent Welsh state. His revolt, which began in 1400, captured the imagination of the Welsh people and saw early successes, including the capture of key towns and the convening of a Welsh parliament. However, the rebellion faced overwhelming odds. By 1415, Glyndŵr's uprising had been crushed, and his later years remained shrouded in mystery. Yet his legacy persisted as a symbol of Welsh nationalism and resistance. The 15th century saw a seismic shift in Welsh fortunes with the rise of the Tudors. Henry Tudor, or Henry Tudur, born in Pembroke, Wales, became Henry VII after defeating Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth in 1485. His ascension to the English throne brought a Welsh dynasty to power and gave Wales a newfound prominence in English politics. Under Henry VIII, the Acts of Union in 1536 and 1543 formally incorporated Wales into the Kingdom of England. These acts abolished Welsh law, established English as the official language of administration, and divided Wales into counties similar to those in England. While this integration erased some distinct aspects of Welsh governance, it also granted representation in the English Parliament and brought greater political stability. The Tudors maintained a delicate balance, celebrating their Welsh heritage while promoting English dominance. This duality left a lasting legacy, as many Welsh people took pride in their connection to the royal family, even as their autonomy was diminished. The 18th and 19th centuries marked a dramatic transformation in Wales. The Industrial Revolution brought rapid urbanisation, particularly in the south, where coal mining and steel production turned towns like Merthyr Tydfil and Cardiff into booming industrial centres. By the mid-19th century, Wales had become a global leader in coal exports, fueling the growth of the British Empire. This period also saw significant social upheaval. The harsh conditions of industrial labour led to widespread discontent, sparking movements like the Chartists, who demanded political reforms, and the rise of trade unions advocating for workers' rights. Religious revivals swept through Wales, with nonconformist chapels becoming central to community life and social activism. The late 19th century saw a growing cultural revival, with the establishment of institutions like the National Eisteddfod and the University of Wales. The 20th century brought significant challenges and changes for Wales. The decline of heavy industry in the mid-20th century devastated communities that had depended on coal and steel, leading to widespread unemployment and economic hardship. Yet this period also saw a renewed focus on Welsh identity and self-determination. Campaigns for the preservation of the Welsh language gained momentum, leading to milestones like the Welsh Language Act of 1993, which granted it equal status with English in public life. Political movements also pushed for greater autonomy, culminating in the establishment of the National Assembly for Wales in 1999, which gave the country its first level of self-governance in over 700 years. Today, Wales stands as a nation proud of its heritage and its modern contributions. From its ancient roots to its industrial might and cultural resilience, the history of Wales is a testament to the enduring strength of its people and their unique identity. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey through Welsh history.